Hi there, my name's Aaron Short and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's video is primarily about the EV-Everse 8 and a testimonial to how they really nailed the weight to power ratio of this battery powered PA speaker. It has a lot of cool features and accessories, but what I like the most about it is that I've been able to perform at all of my indoor venues with just one of these, and I can easily carry it on public transport at just under £17. You know, years ago I had a speaker that was £22 and I really did not enjoy carrying that on public transport. There are a lot of videos about the product already, so I decided to focus this video on my solo acoustic rig, as I often get asked what I use. I have several different rigs that I use, but as I take public transport often, weight is a big consideration for me, and as I like to use vocal and guitar effects as well as a looper pedal, those features are also important, and this rig really meets all of those demands, and it sits in the sweet spot for me of volume, features and weight. I will link all the products below for you to check out, and also do subscribe and ring the bell if you're new here, as I have a lot of content on this topic on my YouTube channel and more coming in the future. Let's take a closer look at all of the gear, and I'll show you how I set it up, and then I'll perform a part of one of my original songs to show you how I use it in practice. So this is the entire rig, minus the guitar, of course. And you may not even need all of this. For example, if there's a table at the venue, you don't need the PA speaker stand. I just like to use one when I can. But this is definitely a modular system. I'll take you through each part and give you some ideas. Obviously, I can't go through the entire rig in detail. That would take me hours. But let me give you an overview of what I'm doing here. Let's start with the guitar. This is a Cole Clark Angel 2. These are not currently available at Sweetwater, but you may find them on Gear Exchange. And I'm using the Fishman Airlock wireless system just so I can move around the room and check the levels and interact with people. And then for cases, EV sell a case for the Everse 8, which fits nicely with space for cables. That would be a nice all-in-one solution, and you could get these down into one case. But I like to use the QSC case because it fits the speaker very snugly, and I like that when I'm carrying it around. And then a secondary bag for the cables. This is a mono bag. It's super high quality and very padded, which is great, but it does weigh 5 pounds in itself. So if you're going for that lightweight, you might want a lighter bag that you can find yourself. But I will link this one. It's very well made. It's very cool. But yes, that weighs about 5 pounds, but it will protect your gear, which is important as well. So let's check out the Everse 8. That's the main product in today's video, really. It looks great. It looks like a conventional PA speaker, which I really like. And they come in black or white. Many wedding DJs like white speakers. Talk about DJs, they also make a 12-inch version, which is heavier, but it will give you that extended low end that you may want as a DJ or a bass player. Personally, for me, this has enough low end. I often cut the low end, to be honest. Checking out the back panel, you can see we're not plugged in, we're fully charged. I get through at least 2 4-hour shows with this, and it's powered up, as you can see. We do have a menu, and it's small, but it lets you go through all the built-in functions and make changes on the fly, which I really like. I do use it sometimes, especially to adjust the volume and make changes, but I love the app as well. This is the Everse 8 app, and I really love the way they've made this. So crossover for bass here. I'm not using a sub, so I'll leave that off. Is it on a tripod? Is it kickback or monitor? This is going to affect the way the EQ sounds automatically. So play with those. Mode, live, speech, club, FRFR, great for electric guitars. And then you've got your global EQ. Sometimes I cut some mids out there if I will take some bass out there. And then when you go into mixer, you've got each channel. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your effects, and there's some different effects here. You can go through 30 different effects. And then you've got a graphic EQ, which can also be a parametric EQ like that, and you can go in and really go to town. So a lot of options. Again, read the user guide. You haven't got to go into all this straight away, but it's great that it's there. If you want to, though, I would just plug in your mic to input 1, set some compression there, set some reverb, get the right amount. The ducker will mute the background music while you're talking, so obviously I don't want that on. I'll leave that off. Treble, middle, bass, phantom power on or off, and you can choose a preset as well. So if it's a vocal mic, I often choose vocal mic and then mute there. Really nice to use live as well, because when you tap on, for example, reverb, you actually use this slider wheel here. It's like a huge wheel, so you can't miss it when you're at a gig. So I think this is great. This app is not too convoluted, but not too basic. It's easy to use and it's got a lot of features if you want to use them, which is amazing. And I love to use this at my gigs. I love to adjust the levels. I love to bring on the background music here in my break. It's just so useful to have it on the phone, on the mic stand. For ins and outs, we have input 1, input 2. These are combo, so jack or XLR. Input 1 can provide 48 volts of switchable phantom power, and input 2 can also be used as a high Z input for passive pickups, electric guitars and basses, which is great. Then we have the Bluetooth on channel 3 or a physical input. We have USB-C for charging your devices, a foot switch control, a mix out for going to front of house, and you can mute this so you hear front of house but not this, enabling you to check levels at front of house, and then you can bring this up. That's why there's a few different master volumes in the app. Power, conventional regular power cable, which I love. And this here, the 9-volt DC out, it's really there so that you can power Electro-Voice's handheld mic systems, which can use an accessory to sit on top of the speaker, which is great, and you should look into that. But today I'm using a special cable to power this Play acoustic pedal. You can see it's powered up there. Nothing is plugged into the mains, which is great. I just want to say here though, if you're using this to power other products aside from Electro-Voice products, make sure you're providing the correct power and all that good stuff. I actually sent my pedal to a company and had this cable made to make sure it wouldn't damage the speaker or my pedal. Use this at your own risk. Never try and power something with this output that's more than 500 milliamps because you're going to damage something. I have to make that super clear. So if you're using this, do so at your own risk and be very careful. But this cable has been verified. It's in the links below. Even then, I'm going to tell you, use it at your own risk, okay? Because it's YouTube. So you can see we've got one cable here. I'm actually sending my voice and guitar in a combined mix to the speaker. I can then use this one for another microphone or a guest performer, but you could send voice here and guitar here and then mix everything from the app of the speaker. There's different ways to do these things. I like this approach to have that free secondary input there. So I'm using a speaker stand. I often don't, but when I can, I like to use one to get the speaker off the ground and the correct height for the audience. But if there's a table at the venue, I will sometimes use that in order to omit the speaker stand for an even smaller setup. I'm then using this Sennheiser microphone, again linked below. I find it works great for my voice. This mic stand is a K&M. You could get a lighter one, but it's nice to have a sturdy stand. This is not too light or too heavy, so it's a good stand to use. And I'm using an iPhone holder. I'll also link that below. I made this with parts myself. Sweetwater have a whole array of iPad holders and iPhone holders, so check them out. You may not like this one. It uses MagSafe. The phone can fall off. So again, if you use this one, use it at your own risk. But I really do like that one, and you can see in the other video why I like that so much. These are the pedals. This is the microphone in. This is the Fishman Airlock wireless system. You can use a cable if you want to. These are all Mogami cables. Love Mogami cables. This one here is the output from the left to the speaker. And that's the power there on the back. This is a switch 3, and this gives me looper record, looper delete, stop and delete, and a volume boost for soloing. You're going to hear this pedal in a second in my demo song, but I will just show you quickly the way this is set up. The mic gain is set on the side, and that tells you here if you're clipping the input or not. And then this uses presets. So inside I do have guitar effects that stay the same on every preset. It's just the way that I like to use it. I've got guitar reverb. I can have delay if I want. I can have modulation if I want. I've got EQ in there, cutting out some 2K. There's a notch filter for feedback. It's very powerful. I love it. And then for vocals, these are presets. So right now, these do nothing. When you turn them on with the hit button, then you hear the effect. So this is a higher harmony. It uses the guitar chord to give you a higher harmony. You'll hear it in the demo. Press that, it's on. Press it, it's off. That's two harmonies. That's two harmonies, but different harmonies. That's an echo on the voice. And you can press these two and do a tap tempo to set the tempo for the song. So you can just go through these presets and you can favorite them, and then you only see the ones that you favorited. So for example, 7, 8, 10. Right? Go straight to 10, 11, 15, 17. And then if you hold this, you get a really good tuner.
And that also takes the reverb off the voice, so you can talk to the audience with no reverb on the voice, which is great. Almost worth it alone for that. And I know you can't get a feel of how loud the speaker gets from a video, but again, it's handled every indoor gig I've thrown at it. It's been absolutely incredible, and you have to just take my word for that, I suppose, but it's the main reason I'm making this video. But the fact that it works with this other gear as well and powers it, you can take this anywhere. Just imagine, you get to a gig and they say there's no power, or power goes out, or they want you to set up in a location with no power. We've all been there, right? It's not the be and end all, but it's so useful when you need it. Busking with this rig would be absolutely amazing. What I'd like to do now is play you a song so you can really get a feel for what this thing can do.
Time and time I wonder why nothing seems to work out right. All I can fathom is it's not supposed to. It's hard enough being alone with nowhere else to go, to get away from the thought of you. I don't know how to sleep at night. I don't know how the river got so wide. Whoa, can't you see? You've gotta hold on. You've gotta hold on. Yeah, you gotta hold on. Gotta hold on.
So what did you think? Let me know in the comments below if you're currently using any of this gear in the video, or if you're using something else. Let me know what you're using and what you like about it. Again, I'm still shocked at how feature-packed and powerful this rig is for how portable it is. And while it's an investment, it delivers a really professional sound in my opinion, and it's been super reliable for me over the years. And it's helped me play gigs and make money, which is really what it's about at the end of the day. I'd like to thank Sweetwater for sponsoring this video, and if you enjoyed it, please hit the like button, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care and be well. Bye-bye.